The night was quieter than the ones before it, as though the palace itself leaned closer to listen. Scheherazade did not delay. She knew the king now listened, not only for survival, but for understanding. She spoke of the second old man who arrived beneath the tree, while the merchant still knelt before the djinn. This man walked slowly, leaning on a staff of polished wood, and at his heels followed two black hounds, their eyes sharp with an intelligence that did not belong to animals. They did not stray, did not bark, did not sniff the air. They walked like prisoners who knew the length of their chains. The djinn turned toward him with interest. "If you carry a story," the djinn said, "speak it, but know that grief has made me difficult to please." The old man bowed and replied, "These two hounds are my brothers. What they have become is the price of envy. Hear me, and if my tale is worthy, grant the merchant 1/3 of his life." The djinn agreed, for sorrow recognizes its own kin. The old man began by telling of 3 brothers who inherited equal wealth from their father. At first, they lived in harmony. Each had his share, each his freedom, and each his ambition. But envy, like rust, eats quietly. The 2 younger brothers watched the eldest prosper through patience and wisdom, and they mistook his restraint for weakness. They convinced him to travel with them, promising profit and adventure. On the road, far from witnesses, they betrayed him, robbed him, and left him for dead. Fate, however, is rarely satisfied with a single cruelty. The eldest survived, rescued by strangers, and through hardship learned truths sharper than wealth. Years later, fortune returned him to power. When his brothers came before him, broken and desperate, he faced a choice heavier than gold. He could destroy them, as they had tried to destroy him, or he could spare them. Mercy won, but it was a mercy shaped by memory, not innocence. He punished them by transformation. Through sorcery learned in exile, he turned them into hounds, bound to serve him, fed by his hand, protected by his roof. Yet stripped of pride and freedom, they would live, but always remember what they had been and what they had lost. The old man's voice did not tremble. His pain had long since cooled into resolve. "When I walk," he said, "they walk behind me. When I eat, they wait. I did not kill them, but neither did I free them. This is the balance I chose." When the tale ended, the djinn's great chest rose and fell like a storm at rest. He was silent for a long time, and the merchant dared not breathe. At last, the djinn spoke. "Another 1/3 of the debt is lifted." Hope flickered again. Scheherazade allowed the moment to settle before continuing. She described the merchant's heart pounding, not with joy, but with fear of believing too soon. Only 1/3 of death remained. One last judgment, one final story yet to be told. But the deeper change was not in the clearing beneath the tree. It was in the palace where the king listened. Shahryar felt the second old man's tale cut closer than the first. Betrayal between brothers. Punishment chosen instead of forgiveness or slaughter. Power exercised not to end suffering, but to contain it. The king recognized himself not in the betrayed brother, but in the one who held fate in his hands afterward. Scheherazade did not accuse him. She never needed to. She spoke of how power, once tasted, reshapes justice. How rulers convince themselves that cruelty restrained is mercy, and mercy delayed is wisdom. How Azali punishment becomes habit, and habit becomes identity. The hounds lay at their master's feet as the old man departed, their eyes never leaving his shadow. The merchant remained beneath the tree, now closer to life than death, yet trembling more than before. Survival was no longer abstract. It was near enough to hurt. The djinn lifted his gaze to the horizon, as though listening for something unseen. Scheherazade shifted the story back to the palace. That night, Shahryar dreamed of corridors lined with doors. Behind each door stood someone he had condemned. Some wept, some raged, some were silent, none were dead. In the dream, he understood that death had been easier for them, and for him. When Scheherazade ended her tale, the sky had begun to pale. "Tomorrow," she said, "I will tell you the final story, the third old man, whose tale decided the merchant's fate." Shahryar spoke slowly, as if weighing each word. "Is it mercy?" he asked. "To let someone live in chains?" Shahrazada answered, "Sometimes mercy is only cruelty that has learned patience. True mercy frees both the judged and the judge." The king said nothing more. The sword remained untouched.